Welcome, my student, wherever you are. We have started a series of KCSE Paper 2 sure bet questions. This one you will not miss them. So I want to promise you around 30 marks in Paper 2 that you are sure about. The grid below, the present part of a periodic table. Study it and answer the questions that follow. Letters do not represent the symbols or the actual element. So whenever you have this grid here, you need to know how to label this one from number 1 to, so it means you must have the first 20 elements overhead. So you should know that this one is hydrogen, that's number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 20. So these are the first 20 elements. So you are asked what name is given to the group of elements to which C and F belong. So C and F is here. This is C and this is F. So you can see that this is group 2 elements. So group 2 elements. This is group 2. So what name are they given? These are called alkaline. So the name is alkaline earth metals. These are called alkaline earth metals. Don't write alkali because alkali metals is group 1. So group 7 here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. Group 7 here, they are called halogens. They are halogens. So those are the things you need to know in the periodic table. And then remember that this is 1, 2, 3. This is period 1, period 2, period 3, period 4. Which letter represents the elements that is least reactive? Least reactive. The element which represents the least reactive is A. Why? Because A is in group 8. And we know that the elements in group 8, they don't react because they are stable. They have electron configuration rate of 2 or 2 to 8 or 2 to 8, 8. So they are stable, they don't react. So it means that the answer here is A. But I forgot to write you explain, because you need to explain why you are telling that. You say that because the element do not gain nor lose electrons. In other words, you can say the element is stable. The electronic configuration of that element is stable, so it doesn't react. As simple as that. What type of bond formed between B and E? So you go back and look at B and E, the bond between B and E. So B is here, B is carbon, and then you can see that B is carbon and E is, this is number 16, that is sulfur. That is sulfur. So it is a reaction between carbon plus sulfur. These both of them, they are nanometals, so it's going to form CS. So what bond is between them? Both of them are nanometals, therefore they are going to form covalent bonds. They are going to form covalent bond because both of them are nanometals, therefore the bond is covalent. If the bond is covalent, you need to explain why. Because they are sharing of electrons. So you say they form, the reason is that they form bonds by sharing of electrons. They form bonds by sharing electrons. And that is it. Write the formula for the compound formed when D and oxygen react. So you go back to D, you check which one is D. Which one is D? Let us go back to the table. D is number 13, and that number 13 is aluminium. Number 13 is aluminium. So aluminium, when it reacts with oxygen, they form aluminium oxide. Aluminium has got a valence of 3, oxygen has got a valence of 2. So they interchange, so we will have this one. So they will form aluminium oxide. And then you need to use the letters that were given. Therefore, it is going to form D, which represents aluminium, and then oxygen. So oxygen will put 2 here, and aluminium will put 3. So this is the formula of the compound that is going to be formed. This is the formula of the compound that is formed. On the grid, indicate with a tick the position of element G, which is in the third period of the table, and as G negative. So the charge is negative 3 and the period 3. So we go there to period 3. Period 3 is here. So this is period 1, period 2, period 3. So we see an element here that forms such a, this aluminium will form positive. So that element must be here, number 15. So because 15 is 2 to 8 to 5, that is phosphorus. What happens during a chemical reaction? It is going to gain 3 electrons to be stable. So it is going to gain 3 electrons to be 2 to 8 to 8. Therefore, if an element gains electrons, it becomes negatively charged. So the element is in period 3 and it is number 15. Therefore, you indicate number 15. The element is here because it was element G. So number 15 here, you write G. So they said you like this. So that's where that element is. Study the information table below and answer the questions that follow. Substance H, J, K, L. We have the melting point. Melting point negative 17, 8, 78, 23 to 19. Boiling point is there. So substance H is very soluble in water, J is very soluble in water, K insoluble in water, L slightly soluble. The density of each of them has been given. This one is the same as this is 0, so it equals 0, 0, 0.077. This one is the same as 0.00133. This is the same as that. So it is important to analyze the table that you have been given. Which substance would dissolve in water and could be separated from solution by fractional distillation. You should know the conditions necessary for separating a substance using. So for these two substances, 1, they must have different boiling points. 2, the boiling point must be close to each other. So now, water, we know the boiling point of water is 100, right? So this substance that we are going to dissolve in water and then separate using this formula, this method, it must be close. It must have a temperature that is different, but close to 100. So you go to the table and check there. So look at H. It has a boiling point of 78. J negative 33. K 77. L 188. So the boiling point that is close to that of water is 78.78. Therefore H will dissolve in water because it is soluble. You can see it's soluble in water and then can be separated by fractional distillation because they have close but different but close boiling points. Therefore the answer should be H. Reason is that H has a boiling point of 78.5 degrees, which is close to that of water, hence can be separated by fractional distillation. Which substance is a liquid at room temperature, and when mixed with water, two layers would be formed. So two layers will be formed, which means it is insoluble. It is insoluble. So therefore K, you can see it is insoluble in water. So definitely this one is going to be K. So the answer is K, because you can see there it is insoluble. So if it does not dissolve in water, then that one is the best answer. It will form two layers. So the answer here is K. Reason is that it is insoluble. It is insoluble in water. Next question. Which letter represents a substance that is a gas at room temperature and which can be collected over water method? So a substance which should be collected from Form 1 should be slightly soluble in water. So that is the keyword that will help you. So go back to the table and check which substance that is slightly soluble in water. Then when you look at it, you find that L is slightly soluble in water, K is insoluble. The other two are very soluble. Therefore, the correct answer should be L, which is slightly soluble in water, because we know a gas that is collected by over water method should be slightly soluble in water. So therefore, this one gives us the answers. L, slightly soluble in water, because it is slightly soluble in water. Which substance that represents which substance by downward displacement of air, which can be collected by downward? So a substance which is going to be collected by downward displacement of air. Remember, downward displacement of air is upward delivery. Upward delivery. For a gas to be collected by that gas must be lighter than air. So if it is lighter than air, it means it is less dense than air. So let's go to the table and check which gas is there and is lighter than air. We have been given the density of air as this. So you analyze the density of air is 0.00129. So we go back to this one and check which one is less dense than that. So you can see L is 0.013 and the that of air was 0.012. So this one is somehow denser. It is denser than air. L is denser than air. K is very dense than air. Look at J. J is 0.07, meaning it is less dense than air. So J is the correct gas that is going to be collected by upward delivery. So here the answer is J. Why? It is less dense than air. It is less dense than air because any gas that is less dense than air is going to be collected by upward delivery. So you can see now the way they combine a question and bring Form 1 work inside. So this is periodic table that has gone to chemical families. From chemical families they have taken you back to Form 1. So you need to understand this concept from Form 1 to Form 4 in chemistry for you to be able to answer these questions.